Hello traders, welcome back to a new analysis today for Wednesday, September 24th. So for tomorrow, here's the main news events. 8:30 a.m. Eastern, final GDP unemployment claims and a 10 existing home sales. Friday, core PCE index at 8:30, okay? So today, bears were more in control, as we're going to see. We're now starting to print, a rejection wick here on the weekly chart. Going down into the daily, we closed just through our daily level, 66.96, but you can see overnight we're now just starting to hold above that level there. Below 66.56, but as we're going to see here on the lower time frames, so when I made the video yesterday, we were right here, and I highlighted this area because this is basically a breaker where we have the impulse move up, a little consolidation, and then continuation. So then this is the last area where we had a pullback that bulls defended to push it up. And so when we came into this, I expected to see bulls defending, but instead we just completely broke through. So we were here yesterday when I made the analysis, and I marked this off and I said this is going to be the first major area, and then it will be right here at the top wick here. But you can see hours until the New York Open, we were trying to get through this block of resistance, and that was also the very top edge of this node, and we had a huge reaction all the way to the bottom edge. I talked about the 6680s, and here we have our local high volume nodes from the weekly profile. You can see that at the end we did bounce back, and we're actually at a very key intersection level here. We're back into the mid area of cuts in volumes right over here. So bulls now need to recover above 67.04, above the low of Tuesday, and then turn this to support. And then we're looking at 67.19, and then back to the top edge here of the node at the 67.28 level. Okay, so right now bears are in control as long as price is below the lows here from Tuesday, and as long as it's holding below this mid cuts in volumes here and this low volume node area from the weekly profile. Okay, and again, a reclaim, flip to support, and then we're looking at this cluster highs and this hourly level, and then the cluster highs into this block once again. And then above that, it's a pretty impulsive move down here, and then above that 67.45, which was the big support on Tuesday ETH before the breakdown on regular trading hours. And then the bearish scenario, if we continue rejecting over here, then we would come back bottom edge of this high volume node into the 6680s. This is the line in the sand to hold, 66.75 hourly, and then we will be going into this node. So then if we have an impulsive close through here, then look to flip this, and then we'll be looking at the low volume node supports and the next daily level that I talked about, the 66.56. But for now, we are holding above the daily level that we mentioned right over here. Okay, let's go into the hourly charts with the weekly profiles. So over here, we have, again, this is the block right there that we mentioned. And you can see perfectly tested before we had the breakdown. We are now at this key low level that you can see we are retesting right now. The weekly profile, we're basically hitting the bottom of the weekly profile. So if we can get back in, then we're looking to turn this into a support on a retest of this low volume node area. And our first target would be the top edge of the node, followed by all these equal highs here from Wednesday. And looking from the week before as well, you can see we're back now inside value from the previous week. And then the top edge of last week, it's pretty near where the point of control is from the current weekly node, okay? So again, the priority, we're working with this week's profile. We're already 3 days in, so it's been well developed, but we're still paying attention to low volume node areas as well from the week before too. TPO, so we still have this single prints here from Tuesday. We filled most of it overnight on extended trading hours, but this still remains a level to be filled yet. Then we have another single print from today's regular hour session, which, I mean, we're right below that, so we're most likely going to get up in it. And again, this is the key level we talked about. This low here we want to hold, push, turn to support, and then we're looking at this areas right over here. Then going into the tick chart, overnight, we started pushing up and we consolidated right at the bottom edge of the high volume node here. Then regular trading hours, New York open, big push down. And then you can see the pullback that we had was right back into this areas of resistance near this low volume node resistance. And you can also see that lined up here in our weekly profile that we have. And we had the push down here. And then eventually we build up a double distribution here on regular trading hours. You can see we're literally right at the low volume node area in between. So this is what I'm saying. We want to reclaim the 6704, turn to support, and then we're looking at the top edge area. If we break down, we're coming back to this low volume node area here near the lows of today. And same thing here on the 5-minute chart. So you can see the pullback that we had overnight was pretty much right at the last area of support yesterday on this impulsive move down. And then here, we have the 5-minute view. So again, this is all the high volume node distributions that we have with the low volume node areas in between them. So we're literally just looking for reclaim and acceptance or breakdown and fading the edges of this high volume. Okay, let's go into NASDAQ. Weekly chart on NASDAQ. Again, we're now living a rejection wick at the top. We finally came down to the level that I was talking about, which is the 24,647, which was this swing high that we had that had not been tested yet. And you can see that was a great reaction at the low of the wick from today's daily candle right over here. So let's go down into the hourly time frame. And here you can see this swing level was right here that we were talking about, the high from Tuesday last week, resistance Thursday, broke out, retested here. This was on a news event, the retest right over there, FOMC, and then Friday again support, and now today we had another great retest, and you can see that is exactly at the very bottom edge of this high volume node. So this whole area, 24,000, 650s, 60s, huge area of support. And now we're coming to a very, very key level, 24,784, which was the low of Tuesday. Support on Monday, broke through, and we're about to retest it from the back. And you can see that's a big low volume node level on the weekly profile, and also a big cut in the high profile from the long term. And one of you had asked me about this. We have a big high volume node, but within it we do have some big cuts in volumes, so I definitely take those into account. You can see how significant this level has been the past 2 weeks. So now is going to be very key how we react on this area on a retest back here. So game plan we're looking at a strong breakthrough, and then we're looking at this bottom edge to turn to support, and then we're looking these little cuts first, and then the highs here into this breaker block that we have right over here near the top edge and next low volume node resistance. Okay, and then we have 24,931 and 24,975, and here's the smaller distributions there as well. Downside, this is definitely the line in the sand level for bulls. Any strong hourly close through this, then look for a back test, and we're looking at the next daily level into this lower high volume node that we have over here. Weekly profiles, just like ES, you can see we're pretty much bumping almost into the bottom edge of this node, so we just need a push up, acceptance, and look for a move to the other side of the node. And then we got the highs from Wednesday there as well. Okay, and looking at last week's, this is the major area from last week, so you can see big support right at this big low volume node edge right over here. And now we're looking for a transverse to the top area, which lines up perfectly with the point of control of this weekly high volume node as well. TPO, we've already filled this singles gap from today. So pretty much the only thing we have is the poor high here at all-time highs, but no other major poor highs or lows or singles. Tick chart, we can see overnight we had the push up and pretty much right into this bottom edge of this high volume node here, plus low volume node areas here from the extended hours as well. Breakdown, we came and found support right at the very lows from yesterday. So you can see very nice bounce of the low volume node edge area from yesterday's RTH profile. And then we move back all the way to the top edge before we finally had the breakdown of the level. And then you can see we put in a double distribution on RTH, and we're now We've broken above the low volume node area here right at the open. So we want to hold this, push up, and then we're looking at the top edge. If we start breaking down, if we come and break down again and start finding resistance again at the top edge area here, then we're looking at the next major low volume node area right over there. And then finally, the 5-minute chart. So you can see here, support yesterday, support at the open, breakdown, and now we're about to back test this level. This hourly level, 24,785, very key. We have our clearly defined nodes. So now it's just a matter of acceptance back in and push up to the upper edge, or breakdown, naked point of control right here, and then bottom edge, which is a major area of support. Okay, that's it. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you're having a great evening, and we'll talk again tomorrow.